his video.
Okay, this is three-term trinomials when a is equal to 1. So when a is equal to 1, remember that they're going to multiply to get c and add to get b. So if I have a three-term, I have x squared minus 6x plus 5. That would factor out in two parts, and I know that I have to have an x in front here, x in front here, and remember that what I get has to multiply to get to c, which is here, and add to get to b, which is here. So the two factors of 5 are 1 and 5. So I have 5, 1, those multiply to get to 5, and they add to get to x. And they both need to be a negative to give me a positive here and a negative there. So let's try one more. We have x squared, or 3x squared plus 3x minus 60. I'm going to factor out 3 to begin with, and then I am left with 3x, or just x squared plus x minus 20. Then I'm going to factor that out. So I leave the 3 there, and I'm going to put it in 2. I have x here and x here. Remember that they have to multiply to get to 20. And they have to, so 1 is going to be a negative, but they have to add together to get to x. So my largest one, I'm going to take the factors of 5 and 4, and 4 will be my negative to give me a negative here, but 5 will be my positive to give me a positive there. So that's three-term trinomials that are equal to 1. Then I have three-term trinomials that are greater than 1. A is greater than 1. Those, they multiply to get A and C, and add for B. So we have 2x squared plus 15x minus 77. So remember, I'm putting them in groups of 2 where I can. There is no perfect square here or here, so I'm not going to worry about trying to find my perfect squares. I'm going to do 2x and x, because that will get me back to 2x squared. And then I'm going to look at my factors of 77, which 7 and 11 pop up. Come to mind quickly, so I'm going to look at that. I know I have a negative. 1 has to be a negative, but over here I'm going to end up with a positive. So I am going to put that, actually I'm going to have to switch that, and I'll show you why in just a minute. I'm going to have to put my 7 here and my 11 here, and my 7 is my negative, my 11 is my positive. You can check that by going and saying, okay, well, if I have 2x squared, and then that gives me plus 22x, then I go here and I get negative 7x, and I get negative 77. So I have that one, I have that one, and then when I look at this in the middle, I come up with 15x. So that is a way to look and say, okay, I did that correctly. Another example of those would be 6x squared minus 13x minus 28. So again, you're going to factor out With 2, I'm going to take the factors of 6, which you would either be 1 and 6 or 2, 3 and 2. So I'm going to try 3 and 2. Sometimes this is trial and error. So I have 3x squared gets me back to 6x. So far it's working. And then 28, factors of 28 would be 4 and 7. So I have 4 and 7. I'm going to try those two. I could also look at 2 and 14, but I don't think that's going to give me a big enough gap right here. So I'm going to look at a +4 and a -7. It's going to give me my -28 on the end. I'll check that. I have 6x squared, -21x. Then I have +8x, and I have -28. So when I simplify the math for these two, because I know that's okay, that gives me a -13x. So those two are okay. And so that is for dealing with trinomials.